You can't give 2 blacks, I think.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's only one.
And just ping when you're ready there, Inception.
Okay,
Okay,
we're live. I'm
let's.
gonna bounce us to another voice channel, and then we'll bounce back if we need to say anything. But hopefully, shouldn't be a case.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, see you in a bit. Good luck.
Good luck.
See ya.
Ooh, Tyler's camera just dropped. Where did Tyler go? This loser, man. All right, let's see. So we got Astro on the left playing Boba Green command and Krennic command from Faith on the right. Both kind of seeing a lot of things they want to see. So Krennic loves to see that round 1 official into the Emperor's Royal Guard. That's going to help him stall out the Boba aggro a little bit and hopefully push into that late game where Krennic is slightly more favored. But I mean, obviously, Astro's super excited to see Fire Spray, and Steadfast works great with ECL, so he'll be able to potentially snipe Krennic. Obviously, Boba Fett's a great unit, so he's also pretty happy with that hand. Okay, so 7th Fleet's what was called for Regional Governor. Are you back, Tyler? Nope, camera's still broken. All right, so Regional Governor and Seasoned Shore Trooper for round 1. Ooh, some decisions for Astro since he drew into the ramp. So he does resource the Boba Fett. I missed what Faith resource, but he swings in with Regional Governor for 1. We're going to get the no ECL short super laser tech. And to resupply for Faith. But going into the next round, they're both going to be at 5, and leaders are going to pop out. Astro's just going to be an action short or slower on it. It'll be interesting to see if he goes the Steadfast DCL route. He drew another super laser. Probably doesn't want that. Meanwhile, Faith has duplicate Death Troopers, so probably doesn't need that either. Wasn't the predictions? Cool. All right, start round 4, or sorry, 3 actually. We are getting that super laser in, so 2 damage on the Regional Governor, getting that 5th resource, which comes in ready. So we got an even playing field for now. He does drop that Emperor's Royal Guard, which is going to save him from that Steadfast play. Boba does deploy. He has OB, so he has options here. But Krennic will get to see another round, most likely. I mean, just sitting at this board state, I'm pretty happy if I'm Faith. I feel like you've gotten the stall out. You're definitely going to make it into the late game, so I feel like that's where you're definitely happier as Krennic. If I can tell what he has. Okay. That's weird. So one of the cards is resupply. Obviously, that's going to go to the bottom. Nobody needs that. Tyler's still getting nowhere on fixing his stuff, it looks like. Just making sure everything's good on this end. All right, so he does play the OB, gets rid of the Emperor's Royal Guard and the Regional Governor since it already had 2 damage on it. So it's going to be another 6-8 coming into Faith Space. Or he has to decide if he wants to worry about Krennic. He can't one-shot Krennic with no resources up. And honestly, you're probably happy as Faith if he spends both these cards. I mean, you can sequence it in a way that Short Trooper attacks first, so he only takes 2, and then Boba takes the 3. No, we're just going to swing into base, and I think that's correct. Krennic swings into base as well, restores 2. Get the surprise strike on the Short Trooper to do 5 into base, because he is not at 6 resources yet, so it's still just a 2-3. And go into the next round. Faith has the initiative. I don't think he can really afford to hang on to that resupply right now with his hand. It's really tempting knowing he has Devastator, but I mean, I guess I didn't look at exactly where face list. His Devastator, Reinforcement Walker, he has a couple board wipes, and Vader and Dooku as his top end. I don't know, it's a tough spot. I mean, the likelihood of getting the Devastator without more ramp is low, but are you realistically going to play resupply with the 8-drop being the only other bomb? So I think it's right to hold on to Devastator there. He has to OB, so he does 3 and 1 to Boba. And the tough part is going to be that Fire Spray is coming down this round, most likely. Unless he wants to ACL Steadfast, which won't kill Krennic, but it will defeat him at the end of the round when the OB buff goes away. So you kind of have both plays there. Do you just push the damage? Because if Boba swings and Fire Spray swings, that's putting Faith up to 20. Obviously, he'll restore 2, so it's down to 18. But then you just surprise strike Fire Spray beginning of the next round, and you win, assuming Faith has nothing else to do. So he's going to do the ECL on Fire Spray, which is a crazy awesome interaction. So it gets to ambush, and then since the when played ability triggers at the same time, he can ready it right after it ambushes. So really strong to wipe the Inferno floor and get the ready for Fire Spray. Krennic swings into Boba, which is just going to do 4. Restore 2. Now Krennic is buffed. So we're just going to swing 4 into base. And ready 2 resources. It's Inferno 4 left this round, and then Surprise Strike on Fire Spray. Swing in for 8. So Faith has to claim at this point, and he almost has to draw. I mean, Dooku can get rid of the Fire Spray, but he can't ambush in. So yeah, I don't think there's an out here outside of Overwhelming Barrage. The Walker, I guess, would have been an out. I guess what could he draw with Vader? Vader comes in with Boba. Does anything deal 4 to Fire Spray? No, so just got to swing in with Krennic to get the Restore 2 to live for now, which he didn't draw into another Surprise Strike, so it's not over yet. He gets rid of the Fire Spray with Dooku. And this is going to be interesting because Astro doesn't have a crazy hand at the moment. Steadfast is just a 5/5 with Overwhelm right now, because his leader is not out. Plays the Crafty for 2, and Faith takes the initiative. This isn't over yet. But realistically, it is because he can only heal 3 with the Reinforcement Walker. What can Vader pull that restores or is able to kill the crafty? I don't think anything. But you have to dig and find out. Hmm. All right, that's game one. Faith takes game one. Or sorry, not Faith. Astra takes game one. Had just enough to close out there. Faith couldn't deal with both options with only 1 health left. There's not really a lot of restoring the deck outside of Krennic himself and the Reinforcement Walker. So gonna get a little sideboarding going on now. It looks like Astra's taking out a couple things, and let's flip back over to deck list. So here's Faith. He has Ruck, Vanquish, Patrolcraft, Star Viper, make an opening, and Avenger he could slot in. I mean, I don't know that he really wants Devastator here. That's probably not going to happen. Like, if we're getting to that point in the game, he's probably already got it in the bag.
Hey, Justin, can you hear me?
Yeah, you good now?
I think so. Can you see me on the video?
Let's see. Yeah, I gotta get a new link. 1 second. Drop you over here. There we go. All right, we're in. All right, so game one went to Boba. Kind of just raced him and won. Right now they're sideboarding. Faith doesn't have a ton of options. He can put in some system patrol crafts, and that might help him out, make an opening. But outside of that, he just needs to get rid of some of the bigger stuff that he's not really making it to. Astro Tech doesn't have a ton of stuff. He might put in the Bounty Hunter Cruise just to get Overwhelming Barrage back, but not sure. I mean, what do you think this matchup's generally favored? Boba Green versus Krennic Green?
I think Krennic is really well prepared to beat aggro, but I don't know how many tools he's got in the mid game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, early game restore can keep him alive versus aggro, and late game he's got super laser blast and some other things to lock the board down.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is probably the toughest matchup for Krennic.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, he also may have some struggles with control matchups. Like, I feel like a Palpatine or something could just blow over him. Yeah, Faith never used DCL.
Okay.
I think my TTS just crashed. Interesting.
I'm still seeing it. They aren't playing yet.
Oh wait, no, it's moving. It just like looked like it hung up for a second. Yeah, Faith is still working on sideboarding. He's got 46 right now. So.
I think Astrotech made the right move in the first match to go for base damage and be the beatdown.
Yeah, I think Boba has to in this matchup. Like, if you just go to a late game, Krennic's gonna run you over because he has all the big stuff in his deck. Boba kind of tops out at Vader generally, so you're gonna get into that late game, and especially when Boba's kind of playing more cards generally, since he's getting those resources back.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just got to push for that early win. All right.
Is Faith running the Royal Guards?
Yes. So game one, he had what might be his ideal start, Regional Governor into Emperor's Royal Guard.
Yeah.
But then on they both ramped, and so round 3, Astro deployed Boba and Overwhelming Barrage did all off. So,
is this game just always going to be won by whoever ramps more?
But they both ramped the same. All right, so they both full mulligan. Astro's got around 1 play, but after that, it's going to get a little shaky. Meanwhile, Faith has no round 1 play. So this is going to be an interesting one.
I think you might need to promote me in TTS because I can't see anybody's cards.
There's no way for me to. We can only have one person that can see both.
Oh, okay. So I just gotta talk to the table.
So Astro has Vader, Fire Spray, Obi, and Crafty Smuggler in his opening hand, and he resourced an Obi and something else. Faith has Takedown, Emperor's Royal Guard, System Patrol Craft, and Super Laser Tech. So
when you said OB, I was like, what's Obi-Wan doing in his deck?
No, Overwhelming Barrage. Oh, and there's the third Overwhelming Barrage for Astro. But he did draw Super Laser as well.
Did Faith just skip the round 1 play?
Yeah, he didn't have one.
It looks like he did. Ouch.
He mulliganed and whiffed, so yeah, he had no round 1 play at all.
How many is he running?
Good question. Let's go look at the list again. Faith. Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 12. He has 12.
So yeah.
He hit that the one in 24, 26, something like that.
Ouch.
But he's trying to decide. He has a Super Laser, Emperor's Royal Guard, Piet, System Patrol Craft, Takedown, and Vader in his hand right now.
I think you dropped the Royal Guard, right?
He did the System Patrol Craft. So no ECL on the Super Laser. 2 to base on the Crafty Smuggler. The good old Mexican standoff. Ooh. Who's going to hit the ramp? Somebody has to hit it. Yeah, skipping turn 1's fine in Blue Villain. It's just a little awkward since he had the Royal Guard and nothing to play with it, but he drew into the Super Laser, so really not a big deal. So Astro drew a No Good to Be Dead and Crafty Smuggler again, and he's resourcing the No Good to Be Dead. And Faith is resourcing a Regional Governor, and he has his only copy of Ruck in his hand.
Oh, could be a fun ECL target this turn.
Yeah, that's what I'm eyeing.
Shield kills Rook's ability, though, right?
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
There is no shield.
No longer an issue.
2 into base.
I mean, I think if you're Faith here, you don't put anything in the ground lane if you can help it.
All he has is ground units right now. He could play a takedown, but I don't know. Do you really want to take down a Crafty Smuggler?
I mean, the alternative is you get Boba this turn, but I mean, I guess you have to get Krennic out at some point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not bringing Krennic out, then it's kind of negating the Boba not coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of an awkward spot.
Oh, he's just going to deploy and let Krennic take the damage.
Boom, boom, boom.
And that does make Krennic damaged, which is a little extra.
So he's swinging 3 into base and restoring 2. Astro actually doesn't have another play until he swings with Boba. Then he can OB.
That's insane.
Right? The Super Laser left this round, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, a unit left play.
Right. Is he doing ECL with it? No ECL?
Okay.
Interesting.
4 into base with Boba. Ready's 2 resources. Super Laser didn't leave play.
Here's the blowout.
So did anything leave play on his side of the board?
Oh, Super Laser doesn't count as leaving play because it becomes a resource?
No, it left play. Was it the round before, though? No, I think it was this round.
No, that was this round. Yeah, because they both went from 4 to 5 this turn with their attacks.
Yeah, if Faith's never going to ECL, I don't know why he's not just running a 30 health base. So Ruck
Yeah,
just
that-
swing for 3 into Boba.
Yeah, that. I don't know what he's hoping to accomplish there. I guess he just upped Rook's power a little bit for his own ECL, but now he's spending 3 resources, so it's not what it looks like.
He doesn't have an official, so no Sentinel
No
here.
Sentinel.
So
Man,
Crafty takes out Rook.
That Rook didn't get the value I was expecting it to.
I don't know why he's not ECLing anything. Like, what's he saving it for? 'Cause here comes Fire Spray.
And now he's got Pieta out, so anything he would ECL is probably going to have ambush anyway.
Another 5 from Fire Spray. Oh my gosh, Faith.
The old, I tried to draw 2 and I drew 22.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, we're good. He controls Z'd. Okay. Saved, I guess.
All right, so he's got to have an answer to Fire Spray or he's dead in 2 rounds.
But I mean, he also has a pretty big ground board right now. Obviously, there's Sentinel in play, but Vader.
That's not enough to stop Boba.
I mean, Vader can come out. Oh, this is such a weird spot. He's just so close to dead at this point. Yeah, guys, Super Laser Tech does relieve play because he goes to the discard pile before he comes to being a resource.
Does he? Okay.
So since he was defeated that phase, it counted. Oh, man. So Faith has Super Laser Blast, OB, Vader, Takedown, and he just resourced a Scout Bike Pursuer.
That's a good resource for this point in the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Vader's
Vader.
coming
Okay.
in. I just...
so I guess ideal pull here would be a Death Trooper.
Death Trooper, probably.
We kill a Crafty Smuggler.
Because he can't pull anything from space to help him with Fire Spray.
No, actually, he's trying.
He's trying. I mean, that or he's trying to dig.
Looking for that OB, right? What is going on? Is he...
He forgot to... He got to put the 10 on the bottom first. Then he searches the top 2. Yeah, I just really don't understand why he didn't ECL Rook. Like, I feel like this game's a lot more interesting if he did.
Definitely would have gotten an extra kill.
Fire Spray hits the 5.
And so now Faith has to claim, or he dies.
Yeah.
Does he know that? Yes, he does. Oh.
I mean, he basically dies anyways. That's the problem. Because this is another 4 coming into base.
So now he has to simultaneously take care of Vader and Fett's Fire Spray.
And 2 Crafty Smugglers. Because it'll be at 1 health.
Well, but he has to do Vader and Fett's Fire Spray action 1 somehow.
He has to do all of them action 1. He's going to be at 24 damage on his base. All 4 of those things will kill him.
You're right. He hasn't struck with the Crafty Smugglers yet. Yeah, This is going to be a real tough out.
I think it's just over. I mean, he has the Super Laser Blast, so he gets to go another round. But he's going to count on a lot to survive.
I guess you Super Laser Blast, and then you hope to ECL something the next turn.
So Astro has Emperor's Legion, Steadfast Battalion, and Waylay. So here's the Super Laser.
Kaboom.
Too bad he didn't have Iden.
Yeah, that would have been
So
5 healing.
he goes ahead and plays Emperor's Legion. Yeah, all units going back.
Oh man,
That's a big hand.
that's hotness. That's the best play of that card I've ever seen.
I mean, he has
That's
2 in the
game.
sideboard, and he dumped him in. Yep,
GG.
that's wild. I just don't understand the no ECL. Like he didn't do it both games.
I get the feeling that he was a little too fixated on the super laser play and not playing for value in the early game.
That might be it.
Like I think he was mentally saving value for later after the super laser instead of holding board. I could chat like he says, but I gotta go grab my laptop power cord.
Go for it. Yeah. Just all right. So how I mean, from our vantage point, one of the big differences in the game felt like he just didn't use ECL both games.
Yeah, I think sometimes it can be a little hard to find an opportunity to do that where it gets value that matters. I don't know that there was an opportunity to use ECL in a way that would have really affected the board state in a major way outside of how he was already planning to deal with things like Boba Fett. And you could make a consideration for ECLing the super laser technician, but I generally think it's better to
Yeah, I don't think that would have made a
just play
difference.
it and save. And so I think it just kind of came down to how our draws lined up. Seemed like um, his hands didn't line up super well into what I was doing, and that's certainly something that Krennic relies on in order to push the matchup closer to that 50-50 or slightly favored range.
For sure.
He didn't play Power the Dark Side or Take Down either game, and I think both of those things are pretty good tools in the matchup to deal with some of the above rate threats that Boba can put out. And so, yeah, in the end, I think it just comes down to being able to play board control a little bit better than he was able to in those games. And of course, me being able to just ramp into Fett's Fire Spray,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
This is the plan. Both games just meant that there wasn't a lot of breathing room for him to navigate any bumps in the road that he came across.
How does it feel to be the first person to ever just destroy somebody with Emperor's Legion?
That was pretty good. Pay 2, draw 6. Yeah, that was pretty powerful. Yeah, Emperor's Legion is kind of my tech for these blue matchups. I expect to have a board advantage due to just the innate tempo advantages that Boba Fett has, and so them trying to stabilize on that 8 resource turn, or even just vanquishing Fett's Fire Spray and me being able to get it back and threaten it again is kind of one of my plans there. I think I maybe could have played 3, but I didn't really get a lot of time to test this iteration of the deck into the field. So a lot of my sideboard is just kind of operating on theory. But it seemed to work out that time. So hopefully that continues.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, your deck looks very familiar to what you ran last season. I know the Emperor's Legion was new. Any other things you want to highlight?
Yeah, so I think Emperor's Legion is kind of the main thing. One of the other pieces as I'm playing the Bounty Hunter crew in the sideboard. One of the ideas there is how it combos with Emperor's Legion. as just kind of a late game value engine that allows you to keep resourcing as you push into the late game. And so you can end up having turns where you can, piece together, 15 resource turns because you're able to just continually get units back and churn out ambush units to deal with their board state and then just get them back with emperors and then bounty undercrew the Emperor's Legion back.
Have you actually been that far into the resource curve before?
I have not. Like I said, the sideboard plan is a lot of theory at this point, but I wanted to have a plan for if these games pushed past that initial mid-game phase where you close the game out with Fet's Fire Spray, and that sort of inevitability from a card advantage standpoint seemed really appealing. So it's something I'm just testing out in this event to see kind of how it goes.
So obviously we saw you sideboard the Emperor's Legion, and what else did you put in? And I guess what'd you take out?
Yeah, so I boarded in the Relentless. I boarded in the Bounty Hunter. I boarded in. Yeah, I basically boarded in everything but the Reinforcement Walkers.
Okay.
I felt like I didn't necessarily need to have that many top end things going into what his post board deck looked like. I was based on him naming 7th Legion Defender or 7th Fleet Defender in game 1. I was putting him on valuing airspace very highly, at least in game 1. So I was expecting him to bring in things like make an opening and maybe his Sentinel Flyers. And so what I took out, as I took out Greedo, as it doesn't pair well into his 9/1/4s.
Sure.
And I took out Bosk, just since I was bringing in a lot more expensive things. You kind of just, pick your poison there, and that on a late game-ish drop. And then I took out a single copy of 7th Fleet Defender, since he showed that he was putting pressure on that in game 1 from a thought process standpoint, and I expected making openings to come in to be cleaner into a lot of my early plays.
Cool. I mean, I guess one of the big questions is, obviously seeing all the deck lists now, you've seen there's a lot of Iden Green. So have you been able to test into that more? How do you feel about that matchup versus the Krennic Green?
Yeah, I think more than the specifics of the leader, it comes down to what the deck list looks like. I think I'm more scared of a deck list that is bringing more copies of an Avenger, because I'm not particularly well equipped to deal with that as a follow-up threat to Super Laser Blast. I think if they are dealing with more event structured deck lists, then I feel pretty good about having Relentless as a sideboard option, or Reinforcement Walker to kind of churn through the value of that. But having a recursive way to kill units is something that gives me a bit more pause and makes me more interested in trying to race before they get to the point where Avenger matters. So it'll be more likely that I sideboard similarly to how I did in this matchup, where I don't bring in the Reinforcement Walker, and I just try and maybe leverage Emperor's Legion as a way to finish it out.
Cool. Makes sense.
Yeah, if you never run out of those hyper efficient units, then
yeah,
Boba's going to do really well.
Have you been able to test much into the Sabine command that's been going around now?
I played a lot of Sabine command in the next league, the 0.7 league, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the deck's very powerful, but Boba Fett with ECL has some strong tools that I think could do the trick. But more than testing against it, I'm just kind of familiar with its play patterns from having played it. So, hopefully that'll be enough to get me there. But I think Yeah, there's just one Sabine green in the pool. Otherwise, it's kind of more classic aggro styles, and then uh, some controlling type builds in the pool. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes, and hopefully I can, repeat last time and play all my Fet's Fire Sprays and
It does feel
go
good.
from there. So
At this point, just kind of how many games would you speculate you've played of Star Wars Unlimited at this point?
I don't know. I've probably played maybe 160 or 200 or
Okay,
something. Yeah, a fair number.
for sure.
I've played quite a bit. I'm local to Minnesota for Fantasy Flight, and so I get to kind of interact with a big crowd of folks who um, are invested in kind of the games that they put out. So
For sure.
Nice. What was the number kept throwing around that Sugi's played?
He said 1,500.
1,500? That's ridiculous.
who said that?
The Sug one from TCG Cast.
That's quite a few games.
Yeah, quite a few. So, I mean, if you feel
Yeah.
comfortable saying it, what would you say is the matchup you're scared most of in the rest of the bracket?
Yeah, I mean, I would expect, Iden to be the scariest, the quote unquote Boba Slayer. So,
Sure.
but I think it presents some strong tools, and the shield on Iden is pretty solid, and so I'm just gonna hope that my draws allow me to avoid getting to the late game and go from there.
Are you more scared of the green or the red version?
I don't know. I think the red version, has some good removal, but I feel more confident in my ability to potentially outvalue that. It has less ways. Like a lot of the green versions are playing Devastator, which is just a fairly challenging thing for me to answer. Aside from Waylay and No Good to Me Dead, it's going to be a hard thing to chew past, and it kills you fairly quickly. So I would say that I'm more worried about green than red.
Well, one you can outramp, and the other
Yeah,
you can.
yeah. That's a good point as well.
Plus, Tower's deck list says test in it, so it can't be that good, right? So,
Yeah, we'll see. So,
have you played into Grand Inquisitor at all?
I have in past league seasons. I've also played a lot with Grand Inquisitor. Grand Inquisitor is one of the leaders in the set that I think also presents a fairly compelling leader ability. The ability to, give units slow ambush is pretty powerful, I think. It's just a matter of, whether he has the support to uh, match what other decks like Boba or Sabine are able to do in the format. And I'm not sure that he's quite there yet, but he's got some very powerful plays. I've been most impressed with the yellow version of Grand Inquisitor, but I can see what Kodal's going for here in the blue version, and yeah, it looks interesting. So we'll see kind of how things square up in the bracket, and maybe we'll get a chance to battle it out.
You'll face the winner of Boba Yella and Iden Green next, correct?
Yep. Yeah, Poem and Copycat. So yeah, that should be interesting. I think that Poem might be favored given the 3 copies of Change of Heart.
Yep.
I think that's going to be a nice closer in that matchup, but
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, Overwhelming Barrage is pretty powerful, so
Yeah. And he does have the board wipe.
yeah. So yeah, and I guess you're not getting a lot of value out of ISB Agent either. in game 1. So I guess he can pick off Death Trooper, but yeah, should be an interesting matchup to watch.
Well, man. Well, any last thoughts on that matchup you just played, or anything with the rest of the tournament?
Yeah, I think that the Krennic matchup has gone my way the last few times I've played it, but I think that it can certainly be a lot closer than this matchup made it look. And so, that being said, Boba Fett I think is still kind of the clear menace of the format, and so hopefully, if I don't win it, then we can see one of these newer decks come and shine as something that can make the metagame a bit more compelling moving into the release.
For sure. Cool, man. Well, thanks for your time, and congrats, and good luck with the rest of the way.
Thanks. Yeah. Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Good night.
Bye.
All right. That's it for that match. Any closing thoughts, Tyler?
No, seemed like a pretty straightforward beatdown.
Yeah, that was quite the beatdown. Like, I don't know that if Faith had used ECL, it wouldn't have made much of a difference, because he just felt so behind the second game. But the first game, I don't know. It felt good until that round 3 when Boba OB'd and just cleared his board, and he just had nothing.
Yeah. I mean, OB for 6 will do it.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thanks for joining us, people. I think Tower's going to stream a match tomorrow. No, Thursday, sorry. No, Tower plays Thursday. I want to say there's a match tomorrow. I don't know who's streaming it yet, but check out the Take the Initiative Discord, and somebody will post a link for sure. But there's 7 more top 16 matches to go. And then obviously they'll play out the rest of the tournament over the course of a few weeks. So try and catch as many matches as you can. This is the best meta stuff we got going right now. All right, well, that's it for us. Peace.